I just want to share the story of Jerry Jampolsky as someone that Helen Schuckman said, I could kill him. I hate him so much I could kill him. So she was on a phone call with Bill Tedford, and he says, if you can forgive him, you're going to feel a lot better. She said, I can't forgive him. He said, well, call me back when you do. And he hung up.
Really, that was Jerry Jampolsky that she was upset with?
Talking about Jerry, that's a definite. She had some argument with him, and as Ken Rappigo, he says, let them be as hateful and as vicious as they may. They could have no effect on you unless you fail to recognize it's your dream that you're talking about.
Exactly, absolutely. All right, so we're going to turn this mic now over to Rev Wayne Stills and Ozzy, and grateful to have you both here. I'm going to mute my mic. Bye, guys.
I hear an echo for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure. I hear an echo. I'm not sure why. It must be me or some of my echo. This is Reverend Wayne Stills. How's it going, everyone? How you doing? This is Miracles Everywhere, and it is Thursday, 12:30. And this is ACIM Gather.us, ACIM Gather. And I have today is Ozzy and I are reading from Anxiety to Love by Corina Zupka. Corina Zupka. But first I'll play a couple of songs and then I'll be back. And then I'll probably end up reading through the lesson quickly. Not quickly, but I'll read through the lesson first. And then you might have something you want to read or something for us, Ozzy. I'm not sure if you have something or not. And if so, you'll do that. And then we'll get right into the book. So give me about 2 minutes. I have a couple of nice songs I wanted to play, at least one. And it's blessings to you, Dove. It's good to see you. And anyone else that happens to be here listening in, it's good to see you. And I shall return, but I have to figure out a way. Hold on one second. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Okay. Now. All right. Here we go. All right.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger, an endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, it's only seed. It's the heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never takes the chance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give, and the soul souls lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose.
Stuff there. There was nothing different in the song. I think the song just said it all. It's nice. Love is for everyone. Love is for everybody. Love is for everybody. It's not just for the few, not just for the those who. It's for everybody, even for those who are buried deep within their own selves. Love is for them. Love is for them. All right, but first, we're about to before we get going for sure. First, this guy. You've heard him before. First him, and then we're going. All right.
Lesson 37. My holiness blesses the world. This idea contains the first glimmerings of your true function in the world, or why you are here. Your purpose is to see the world through your own holiness. Thus are you and the world blessed together. No one loses, nothing is taken away from anyone. Everyone gains through your holy vision. It signifies the end of sacrifice because it offers everyone his full due, and he is entitled to everything because it is his birthright as a son of God. There is no other way in which the idea of sacrifice can be removed from the world's thinking. Any other way of seeing will inevitably demand payment of someone or something. As a result, the perceiver will lose. Nor will he have any idea why he is losing. Yet is his wholeness restored to his awareness through your vision. Your holiness blesses him by asking nothing of him. Those who see themselves as whole make no demands. Your holiness is the salvation of the world. It lets you teach the world that it is one with you, not by preaching to it, not by telling it anything, but merely by your quiet recognition that in your holiness are all things blessed along with you. Today's 4 longer exercise periods, each to involve 3 to 5 minutes of practice, begin with the repetition of the idea for today, followed by a minute or so of looking about you as you apply the idea to whatever you see. My holiness blesses this chair. My holiness blesses that window. My holiness blesses this body. Then close your eyes and apply the idea to any person who occurs to you, using his name and saying, My holiness blesses you, blank. You may continue the practice period with your eyes closed. You may open your eyes again and apply the idea for today to your outer world if you so desire. You may alternate between applying the idea to what you see around you and to those who are in your thoughts, or you may use any combination of these 2 phases of application that you prefer. The practice period should conclude with a repetition of the idea with your eyes closed and another, following immediately, with your eyes open. The shorter exercises consist of repeating the idea as often as you can. It is particularly helpful to apply it silently to anyone you meet, using his name as you do so. It is essential to use the idea if anyone seems to cause an adverse reaction in you. Offer him the blessing of your holiness immediately, that you may learn to keep it in your own awareness.
Okay, so lesson 37, my holiness blesses the world. My holiness blesses the world. My holiness blesses the world. Before I even talk about that, but move on to the rest of it and talk about any of it. I just wanted to see if did you have did you want to add anything on to to that to reading it all? Did you have something? Did you want to give a child's point of view, anything or anything?
Yeah, I have lesson 37 here in the children's edition to share.
Right. So
Excuse
the
me.
child's point of view.
Can you hear me okay?
You sure can. You sound beautiful. Sound wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you. You too. All
Very
right.
clear.
My Holiness Blesses the World from the children's edition that was put together by Rev Devon and Ricky as well. And it goes like this. Hello, little star of kindness and joy. Today we're diving into something truly special, your holiness. You know, holiness is like a sparkly treasure that you have inside you. And guess what? This treasure has a magical power to bring happiness and blessings to the whole wide world. Are you excited to learn how to use your holiness to make the world even more wonderful? Let's go on a magical journey together. Imagine you're wearing a magical crown that shines with the brightest, sparkliest light. This light is your holiness. It makes you super special and full of love. Whenever you wear your crown, you're like a superhero of kindness. Your holiness has a magical touch that blesses everything it comes near. When you look at things around you, like your toys, your room, or the colorful flowers outside, excuse me, imagine your sparkly crown sprinkling them with blessings. It's like sharing your joy with the world. Today, you're going on an adventure to bless the world. Look around you and pick things to bless with your holiness. Say their names and add, my holiness blesses this teddy bear, or my holiness blesses that tree. It's like giving them a warm hug of happiness. Imagine your holiness is like a gentle hug that wraps around everything, your toys, your family, and even the birds in the sky. They're all getting special holiness hugs from you. Your hugs make everything feel extra special and loved. Whenever you see something, you have a secret magic phrase. My holiness blesses, and then say what you're looking at. Your magical words make the world sparkle with even more joy. Your holiness is like a wish for goodness that reaches far and wide. Close your eyes and think about people you know, your friends, family, and even people you pass by. Send them a little wish of holiness, like a tiny gift of love. Imagine you're playing a game where you sprinkle holiness on everything you see. Your toys, your bed, your favorite book, they're all getting a sprinkle of magic from you. It's a game of joy and blessings. When you smile, your holiness shines even brighter. Smile at the world around you and imagine your smile is like a beam of sparkles. Your smile is like a secret signal that says, I'm sharing my holiness with you. Your friends have holiness inside them too. Imagine their smiles lighting up as you bless them. Say, my holiness blesses you, and then your friend's name. And imagine them feeling warm and happy. Before you go to sleep, think about all the things you blessed today. Your holiness made the world smile a little more, and that's truly wonderful. Your heart is full of happiness, and you're sharing it with everyone you meet. Remember, little joy spreader, your holiness is like a magical treasure that makes the world shine with love. With each blessing you share, you're making the world a brighter, happier place. So keep wearing your sparkly crown of holiness and keep on spreading your joyful blessings everywhere you go. Amen. Isn't that beautiful? Wow.
Amen. 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 That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's just the things that came to my mind immediately. I mean, the first thing that came to mind, and as it kind of built as we were reading, was the very first line of the very holiness, what holiness means. Over the years, to me, I always defined it as innocence. Innocence. Whenever I see the word holiness, I just put innocence in its place, and it always seems to work very well for me. But I've never heard it described as a big hug. I mean, how innocent do you feel when you get a big hug from somebody? Is there any sense of, I mean, it's the closest thing to innocence with somebody else, an innocent relationship, with no matter who it is. If you give somebody a big hug and you really mean it, you feel that innocence. You know, and he describes it as so well. It's just an innocence, the innocence of a hug. Give somebody a big hug. Give somebody a big hug. And now imagine that you're giving everyone a hug. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, the
And
hug, wrapping your arms, wrapping yourself around, like
yeah,
just holding the person, and that magical touch he talks about, having
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And to a child, it's just everything. I mean, to a child, they need to feel loved, they want to feel hugged, and I mean, it makes perfect sense. But you know, we're sort of we have 10,000 billion concerns about hugging and touching. But if you think about it in the most innocent sense, it's our true innocence, and our true innocence is who we really are. And so what it's
Yeah.
saying is that we are loved, and who we really are is what we can is what blesses the world. Who we really are, the depths of our being, is who we bless. Is what blesses the world. The very thing that the very thing that makes us the most sweet and the most nicest person, the seemingly to the world the most vulnerable, but really the most defenseless and the most defenseless. But we know it makes us the most connected to the divine. And that's what we know. That's why it helps the world. But it's the most it's the most delicate and most beautiful part of ourselves. And that was made so clearly by the sort of like the inner child's perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. My holiness blesses Rev Wayne.
Oh yeah. Mine was Audrey Whitehead. I mean, absolutely. You know,
Yeah.
and
Beautiful.
it's you know, this idea contains the first glimmerings of your true function in the world, or why you are here, to share that innocence with others. And you know, I love it how it says you don't do it by preaching to the and converting and forcing and imposing. You just do it by being there with them, being there with people, sharing their lives, sharing with them, and just and smiling at them, and you know, just sharing moments with them,
Yeah.
being part of their families and friends and so forth.
And being present, being in the
Right.
space of now, not, trying to not get sucked in. That was my thing. I would be so busy in a story that was happening in my mind about the present moment that I really lost being connected to the people in my space and the things even, like it was like if I was in Beauty and the Beast and all the things were animated, I didn't even notice. I couldn't even notice that all the things were alive, the toaster and the forks. I wouldn't have even noticed. I was so lost in this crazy, crazy mind of stories. That was my focus. That was where my attention was. So
So it's sort of like it's like when you have a dreams at night, you're having dreams, and you're either involved in the dream as the dreaming as the dreamt. So you're just going along with the story. You're sort of in the story or part of the process of the story, or you're aware that you're dreaming, in which case you can really indulge and have a great time.
yeah.
You know you're dreaming. You know you're dreaming, but you're not waking up from the dream. So now it's time to have some serious control and have a creative adventure in your dream. Because
Beautiful.
you're transcending it, so to speak, and you're aware that everyone in the dream is just an extension of yourself. So you can go for it. But before that, you were sort of a part of the process of the dream, so the dream had a hold of you.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think in life it's like that. A lot of times we just go and the next thing you know, you're in your 50s.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, that's what I meant. Exactly. I'm like, how the heck did this happen?
Exactly. Oh my God. I thought the last week I was in my 20s, and I was bummed that I was turning 30, and now I'm in my 50s. What happened to the
Yeah.
40s?
Oh gosh, that's so true. And it just keeps going faster. And my son's 18 and thinks, he's got all the time. And I'm just like, holy crap, you have no idea. It's
Yeah,
just,
it's sort of just like it's like a dream. I mean, in a dream, you from one place to another really quickly, right? You want to
yeah,
be somewhere in a dream. If I'm in my home in a dream and I want to be in California, if I'm in New York, suddenly I'll be in California.
yeah, yeah.
When you were younger, you wanted to be older, right? Well, now you're
Mm-hmm.
older. Now you're older out of nowhere, and you're looking back on it like it happened yesterday.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like in a dream.
that's so true. Wow.
I watched the kid last night. She showed. I had never seen it. 13 going on 30.
Oh, nice.
You ever see that? It was kind of
Yes,
nice.
with
Stupid.
Jennifer
Right,
Garner.
Jennifer Garner. Yeah, Jennifer
Yeah,
Garner and who was the guy in it? He was famous too.
yeah, I forget now.
I'm spacing. I saw it last night. He was, oh yeah, Tony Ruddy, Paul Ruddy.
Oh, yes, Paul
All
Ruddy,
right, yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was a pretty good movie. It was nice. It was sweet. And, she I want to be 30. I want to be 30. I want to be 30. I want to be 30 and thriving. I want to be the when she was 30 and thriving.
Yeah, it was a good movie. It was good. I love it.
It was
So
fun.
perfect. Thank you, Rev Wayne.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, so we should probably get going here, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen and I'll pull up
Okay,
the book here.
sounds good.
Sorry. Here we go.
Come
There we go.
back.
Can you see it?
I see it.
All
Introduction.
right. Yeah, we read the prologue last time, so we're on the intro. You want to start us
Yes.
off?
Okay. If you've ever had a panic attack, you know how it is, how hard the feeling is to describe to someone who's never had one. It's pure inner hell. You ever had a panic attack?
I don't think so.
I've had one. I've had a few. I had a few after I had this horrible, horrible experience with LSD. The next year, I had a horrible experience. I was in the hospital.
Oh.
And then, it was fun to be back in the ambulance while having a horrible experience with LSD. It's a nasty experience. And so then I finally was okay afterwards. And I've spoken about this here. I had a vision and all this with God and so forth. And then after it was all over, I did a whole. It was an interesting experience. Let's put it that way. Panic attack. You know how hard you feel. From that a year. I've had about a year in advance of that. Every now and then, especially if I smoked any grass, which I was doing my early 20s, about 20, 21 years old at the time, I'd have a panic attack, which is just the fear of losing. It's the fear of fear. It's I'm scared. I'm going to lose my mind because I'm going to panic. It's the fear of panic. It's the strangest. It is very strange. It's almost like it's the fear of your ego. It's the absolute dreaded fear that I'm going to freak out, and for no reason. Because that's what happened with the LSD. I'm gonna duplicate what I just did. Now that's what it was for me. But generally, it's the feeling you're gonna panic. Oh, I'm gonna panic, and all these people are gonna see me panic. Oh well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're probably able to because it was marijuana. If it was LSD, you would have had a problem. You can't just chill out when you're on LSD.
Yeah.
Because I knew I was really, But as I've said before, we need symbols. I had a legitimate vision. I'm a God. I mean, God the Father wanted me to kill myself to prove I was. He sacrificed myself to prove I was anybody. And then Jesus was watching, and the Holy Spirit was Rod Serling doing my case history, and it was very much, it was a very much informed experience. But I needed to almost needed the LSD to be a symbol
Mm.
to enable me to get to that experience. Because if I just had that experience, I would have turned myself into the loony bin.
Yeah.
If I just walking around and suddenly had an experience with God, the Father, and Son, and Holy Ghost, where it was, me seeing this, experiencing this for real, I wouldn't have known what to do with myself. And my friends would have said, "You hear what happened to Wayne? He was hanging around there and suddenly had this really major experience." But if they hear that it happened through LSD, they would have been like, "Oh, that makes sense." You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
The LSD
Yeah.
actually acted as a symbol for me to be able to. It's if you see that, that's what they would use in the movies to make it more
Yeah.
fun for the audience to watch. They would
Yeah.
use, all right, let's just use a pill, like in Limitless. I think that's what
Yeah.
it's called.
Yeah. Or the
They use it-
Matrix, a blue blue or red
Well,
pill.
yeah, the blue or red pill, exactly. The blue or red pill. Those are just symbols.
Yeah, yeah.
And they could have said the white mushrooms or the black mushrooms, or the blue red mushrooms. It wouldn't have made a difference. It would have been the same thing.
Yeah, that's so true. I like that because you're right. It's like if I have this experience and I'm like, well, I was on drugs at that time, and people are like, oh, okay. But if I'm just drinking my tea and talking about it, well, like Gary Renard, he sees the people on the couches, and you
Yeah.
got people who don't believe him, and some people think it's because of the alcoholism. Some people, and
It doesn't mean they're not true. It
yeah,
doesn't
it's
mean, it
just
doesn't mean they're not true. I mean, maybe it is. If he was sitting there in the in Hinduism, smoking a very hallucinogenic peace pipe of some sorts, and had these visions, it might be considered okay because
yeah,
of who he is and his background and his ancestry. But if it's Gary Renard in his living room, it's considered really weird.
yeah, exactly, right?
Do you know what I mean? So that's the issue that I had as a child, 21 years old. If I'm gonna explore visions, I'll do it with LSD. That's what I said to myself.
Good.
Do
Okay.
you know what I
Well,
mean?
we're not advocating that, of course,
Oh no, we're not
here.
advocating at all. I don't advocate drugs for anybody. I mean, I have
Yeah.
2 kids, and sure as heck didn't advocate for them at all to do anything like that. I was simply saying it was people will do what people are going to do, and there's no
Yeah.
reason for them to feel guilty about it. The point is, how do you it's sort of like I was compared to a baseball game. Feeling guilty because you struck out or made out doesn't help your next at bat.
Yeah.
What helps your
Right.
next at bat,
Right.
what help your next at bat is learning what you did wrong, or what you did that wasn't helpful, and then correct your mistakes. That's all. Guilt will get you benched.
Guilt will get you benched. Yeah.
It will. I mean, but if a coach ever finds out that you're weeping in the corner because you struck out, yeah,
Oh,
why don't you just take it easy, take a break for a little while until you don't feel guilty anymore. I
yeah.
mean, so that's sort of like life. Guilt has nothing but delay tactics. That's what all it is. I feel guilty. We need guilt. We don't need guilt.
We don't need guilt.
Yeah.
We're abandoning guilt.
Well, God can help us without making us feel guilty. He doesn't need guilt for us to get better. And I'll move on. We're jabbering on. It's pure inner hell.
Yeah.
On the high end of the anxiety spectrum, where I spent a large part of my life, the panic attacks, debilitating fear, and free-floating anxiety. On the low end of the spectrum are the normal fears and anxieties that occasionally visit us all. This book is about how to work with your anxiety, regardless of where it falls on the spectrum. My anxiety journey was one of the worst, most terrifying experiences of my life. Once I allowed it to become my greatest teacher, it also became one of the best. My anxiety brought me to a great inner peace that I ever thought I'd experience. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful. I hope this book will help you be grateful for your anxiety too, because anxiety is a call to awakening and can start you on a pathway toward love and inner peace. Every experience you can have can serve 2 purposes, and you get to choose which. It can help you awaken to the peace that's already in you, or it can help you stay unaware of this peace. What do you choose? I think I choose
Yeah.
the former.
Yeah.
In this world, we are conditioned to choose the latter, unfortunately. This book will help you choose to wake up to peace. That's good.
Mhm.
In these pages, I describe the process I use to work myself out of terror and into anxiety-free life. And by working that process, I am now doing things I never thought I would be capable of. Taking plane trips fearlessly and without medications, by myself, speaking confidently in front of large audiences, traveling into New York City by myself without feeling completely overwhelmed, sleeping like a baby instead of having horrible insomnia, and awakening with that early morning anxiety. If I can experience radical changes in my life, so can you. All right, you want to read?
Yeah, I'm thinking about
Anything?
she's
Yeah.
saying here, that I have experienced, the insomnia, the
Yeah.
having to take medication for flying. I mean, for me, it manifested into anger. It was just an angry, like really charged. It was like, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, 0 to 100. It would just, It was so it wasn't like
It's very prevalent.
these separate anxiety panic attacks. It was a constant anxiety. Yeah. So
Getting jabbed
anyway,
in the face, like it's boxing, being in a boxing match, and you get smashed in the face all the time or something.
yeah, exactly. It was like,
In your face all the time. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a life if you like that. So life's a subtle boxing match with a guy who's hitting you playing with it's a jabber. You know, so
and
it
it's
doesn't-
just myself. I'm punching
yeah,
myself in the
yeah,
face.
oh yeah. Well, that's true. That's true. But you punch yourself. You don't punch yourself hard enough to knock yourself out right away. You punch yourself just hard enough to kind of sting you and tire you just a little bit until eventually you're so tired you just fall down. Look
Yeah,
at Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes. They just keep on jabbing you, hitting you until eventually you're just worn down.
yeah. You can't take any more hits.
Yeah, but then there was a quote from Iraqi in one of his movies where he says, "Yeah, the key is that is to keep on getting back up and keep on moving forward. It doesn't matter how hard you can hit, how hard you can get hit, and keep moving forward.
Yes, keep on moving.
Keep on
Keep
moving forward."
swimming. Keep
Or
swimming.
Jesus said, "Give him turn the other cheek," and Gandhi said that means get up and give him the other cheek. And then get back up, keep
Yes,
on getting back up, and give the other cheek. But don't stop moving.
exactly. Do not go into the fetal position in the
No,
corner.
just keep on being the turtle.
Yeah, keep on being the turtle. Slow and steady.
Yeah, exactly. Hit me all you want, but I'm gonna keep on moving.
Yeah, I got a shell. Yeah, look at us. We didn't realize how good the turtle was.
Exactly. No, turtle. And I got to go under the turtle. If I have to stop, I guess you can always go under when you're sleeping. Go under the turtle with their head.
Yeah.
That's total protection, so we're fine.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. So
All
it's
right.
the spiritual practice.
All right. The spiritual practice that helped me out of anxiety is called A Course in Miracles. And that sentence is true for me as well, Audrey. Yeah, it's true for me. That's what helped me get out of my anxiety as well. Or that feeling of fight or flight that I was living in, plus medication. And because of A Course in Miracles, I allowed myself to even entertain that idea. So very, very true, this A Course in Miracles. And, it's funny because after I read it and then I was sort of doing other things, I was like, had a friend who would always bring it back to A Course in Miracles. And in my mind, I was like, why are they always with the Course in Miracles? I mean, it even says, shut the book, go unto your God, and leave the Course in Miracles. Like, we're moving on. But I have found myself just falling back into A Course in Miracles, because what I've realized is when the first go around when I was reading it, it was all through my ego, which is what you need to do because you're in your ego. And now it's on this passive reading, it's got that depth. It's got the substance to it that I couldn't be aware of before, because it just had to have those seeds because I was so in my wrong mind. So it is a perfect system for breaking through that. I would never believe it myself, except that it's happened. So what a beautiful line. Spiritual practice helped me out of anxiety is called A Course in Miracles. And I believe it can help anybody from their suffering.
Yeah,
So
it's true. And it's one of the few documents that you hear with the modern psychologists actually like. And I
yeah,
know that my kid was involved in the medical establishment through a certain rehab centers and so forth, with alcoholism. She's fine now, but she has some probably and there's not many things I could bring up in the spiritual. That's they're very much the medical model psychologists. And very much psychology will send you to psychiatrists for medicine, and they work with medical doctors and psychiatrists and so forth, which is that's the way it is. You can't get there and talk about, you can talk about your spiritual life, but you're not going to get much from a doctor or a psychologist in terms of spirituality unless you go to a specialist in that area. But if you go to a psychologist, psychiatrist, they're going to mainly hit the medical model. So I found that The spiritual model is not well, like A Course in Miracles is one of the few that they all say, yes, I wished, if she does that, I'll be happy about that, she said to me. I mean, if she does Course in Miracles, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. If you can get her to do it. Because, so even though there's a few minutes each day and it's 10 minutes, it's a discipline to do it each day.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there was no way I was going to get her to read the course, to read it. Because that would have been not necessarily beyond her, but you'd have to focus on it. But I got to do it once a day for about a week. And then
Yeah.
she started skipping, and I wasn't going to push it. But it's interesting that most of the medical establishment, on the psychological and psychiatric end, either knew about it, didn't mind it, liked it, or I informed them about it. They read about it. Sent them my current. One of the things it did for me was actually enabled me to be okay with taking medicine.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I had to take medicine, it's like I feel like I need the symbol still of medicine, and that's what it really helped me understand. The medicine's a symbol. It's a symbol of what I'm looking to do. It's a universal belief in the medicine that it does what it does. It's not really doing anything.
Yeah.
But it's a symbol I feel I need at this point still, and at some point I'll be able to drop the symbol. Sort of like everything is a symbol. We still need a symbol for warmth, and we call them clothing.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
We still need a symbol for us to see well. We call them glasses. We tend to want to always focus on the part of our stuff that bothers us the most, and then we let that become the focus of, yes, it's true, dropping medicine would be the ideal, but why do we have to do that so quickly? Let's focus on the other stuff that's easier. I was a Christian Scientist before I got here, right before I got, and they were really focused on it. You got to stop now, or else we won't pray for you. We can't pray for you. They weren't being mean about it, but they're the sweetest people in the whole world. And they had very similar, different way of getting there, but they were similar, there's no life and matter. And so they were similar, but they have rules. And one of their rules is you can't go see doctors, period.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't see doctors. I mean, they have no social control there. They don't stop you from seeing it and kick you out, but they won't. You can't see them for specific prayer of something because they don't want to be held liable. They say, because they're there to heal you. They don't say, they don't have any of those little extra things that say, just so you know, we're not here to heal you. They are, they say. So
You're
that's fine.
right.
That's their thing. So they don't want to do it. So fine. But it's when I got to the course, Jesus said, "Hey, don't do anything stupid. Basically, if you're too fearful, you drop your medicine, you drop all the symbols, you drop all the magic. You're going to be fearful. It's going to get worse.
Right, right.
It's going to get worse. Don't be a big shot. That's what I heard.
Hey,
Don't be,
yeah.
don't be such a big shot. Throw your medicine into the ocean, and next thing you know, you're gonna be calling the doctor again, trying to get back on the medicine, and you're gonna be in a bigger crapper than you were before you did anything.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
so, yeah.
So I mean,
Well,
understand that until I can work through it, I'll work on the other things. I'll work on not, I'll work on first to work on, sort of like you become one with everything and then you transcend it completely. I'll work on becoming one with the fact of who I am now first,
yes.
not
So
caring that I
important,
slower.
so important to go inside, know thyself, it says.
Right.
And it's about first and foremost, like you can't skip over to say like it's a dream and it's not real, because that like it doesn't work. You have to go within yourself, accept and love all the aspects of this self. That's what I had to do. And what I love about A Course in Miracles too is that it was written by, well, scribed by psychologists, and it's kind of like cognitive behavioral training, like the
Yes, but yeah,
CBT.
that's why I think modern psychologists like it, because they're all based on that now. On
Yeah,
CBT.
but it's different because it goes right to the crux of it. I mean, and with the people
Absolutely.
psychiatrists, I could never even go there to talk about that, because I would try and it would sort of, the feeling would come up, it was not accepted. And so I was like, oh shit, there's something wrong with those thoughts. So I better not talk about those. Well,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
now I'm disingenuous because I don't believe what you're telling me. You're telling me, oh, I'm having this response because I have a thought about something. And I never saw thoughts. It was like, I don't know what you're fucking talking about. I don't have any thoughts. I'm just fucking angry. And it was so frustrating because I couldn't see that underlying shit that was going on. Who can? And then it just caused me more anxiety. It caused me more panic, I guess, in a sense that no, I'm really messed up. Because even the psychiatrist is like,
Yeah,
you know,
but they're not. It's not based on the world is based. I feel on a faulty premise. And they can
yes,
be smart as can be, but if it's based on a false premise, it's all going to be a bit altered, bit tainted in terms of its veracity. And there's not much you can do about that. It's to try to work. It's sort of like seeing you hear a song. I play a lot of gospel music in here. A lot of the theology that the gospel music presents, I don't agree with. I
right,
saw
yeah.
the road is
Mhm.
narrow, the short is the way, it's narrow is the way. I know that if you look at the gospel, generally that's interpreted to mean that only a few people get through, and most people
Right,
don't.
right.
But I don't believe that. But I like the song a lot. I like the way it moves me. It makes me feel good. And overall, I see the light. I saw the light. I saw the light. Yeah, yeah. And it's the same thing. You have to kind of see the doctor, get from the doctors what you can, and then let go of
Yeah,
the rest
yeah,
you know and that's
yeah.
sort of what it, and also I would suggest one of the things I would suggest that a lot of people say you can't go straight to the dream. I have found it easier for me to understand that we're dreaming on a big level, and then the harder thing is the smaller little dreams within the big dream. I mean, for me, when I raised my kids, they had no problem believing because they were so little, they had nothing to block it, and they had no problem understanding the universe as a dream because they dreamt every night of the week, and all I said, we're doing the same thing here that we do at night.
Yeah.
We're making dreams up. We had this giant dream called the dream, and that's where and I go. You wake up and you think you're still sleeping, but you wake up into the big dream, and in the
Yeah.
big dream, you have all these little situations that come up, and that's the hard part is doing all those situations. Those situations are little dreams, and
Mhm.
that's what the big dream is made up of. Lots of little dreams, and if you do well in those little dreams, that since you do well in those dreams, you're doing well in the big dream.
Nice.
And if you
Nice.
think about it that way, the big dream, it's not that it's really it's the small situations that we have a harder time. It's getting up in the morning, it's getting to work on time, it's getting along with your spouse. It's these are the things that are more it's not getting mad, frustrated with politics. It's all these little things that you dealing with your anger. But if someone said to you, "How was the cosmos made?" You have probably no major problem understanding. All right, fine, the cosmos was made. We're dreaming. That's just the nature of the cosmos. And once you get past the idea that we're not living in a Newtonian-based universe, that shift is the premise. My kid's premise is that now. If you went up to them, they have no problem with that, at least of moving into that concept of the universe is a dream. The universe,
Nice.
yeah, because that's their premise. And so they're I mean, it's hard for them. It was hard for them to keep that premise because there's not the premise that's taught to them in schools. So they're very they moved away from that on a functional level. But if I ever say to them, they understand where I'm coming from. They don't think I'm a nut job or anything. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They talk to me from that place, and they're there emotionally. It's just intellectually they don't know. They don't understand the Course of Miracles that they used to as kids. But emotionally, they come from a place of calmness and peace because of that. If they understand the universe, they'll understand that everything is stories and everything is symbols.
Yeah. That's great. I love that.
You know. And so I would suggest that the easier thing to do is actually to say it's all a dream. You don't have to
Well,
do anything,
good.
just understand it intellectually.
Well, that's good because when I first started it, like back in 2018, what was that? Is that
That was like 5 years ago,
six,
before
five, 6 years ago?
7 years
So
ago.
yeah, I guess Ash would have been like 12, and I was like, it's all a dream. It's like I was just totally just going around saying all that, and then he started coming back after a bit and saying, I don't like that when you're saying that. So I did quiet down, but those seeds were planted because
Yeah, exactly.
now he gets it. You
Well,
know?
but the thing is, my kids were very aware that they needed a bad dreams. You had bad dreams and good dreams, but I said that they were aware that it was. I used to always say to them, the mantra was Christ of the ego, Christ of the ego. Christ was all the good stuff that they wanted, and they make good choices, and choices that were more selfish oriented and had more to do with what you wanted, as opposed to other people, and that would be hurtful to yourself. Was the ego. So
Yeah.
they understood that concept. It was very easy for them to latch into that because they're kids. Anything absolute and any absolute dichotomy like that, they can understand.
Yeah.
It's not black and white thinking where it's like on a negative level. It's just more like, all right, it's either road A or road B. I have to stand for a kid. It's like, all right, I can get that. Either I want to be a good girl or a bad girl. And a bad girl simply means that I'm not doing my job in the pack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because dogs are never really bad at all. I mean,
No.
but they can do something. They can poop in the house.
Yeah. They
So
sure can.
you teach them not to. Same with kids. Kids are never really bad at all,
No.
but they can do something that they shouldn't do because it gets in the way of of your functioning as humans.
Yeah. So good. Okay, let's go. We might take a couple years to read this book, but I love it. I love this. This is such a great conversation, and it's just it just helps me to realize that again, nothing was ever done wrong. It's all perfect.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
Okay. So A Course in Miracles, it's helped Corrine out of her anxiety. And the Course is a system of loosening our fixed, fearful perceptions so we can rediscover the peace that is already within us. At first, you may find this new system of thought hard to follow, but don't worry about it. If the Course is your path to healing, it will gradually begin to make sense as you become willing to understand it. You do not have to believe in it. I love this about the Course. You don't have to even believe in it. And that is the huge difference between A Course in Miracles and any established man-made, I say, religion.
You're right.
Because
it works.
yeah.
It works. It works. I mean, the bottom line. The truth of it is the veracity of it is in its functionality, in its practicality.
Absolutely. So you don't have to believe in it, but if you test its concepts, the results will speak for themselves. My approach in this book is just one way of exploring the deep teachings of the Course and is based on my interpretation and experience of its principles. I hope it will help you learn to listen directly to your inner therapist, which is the part of your mind that helps you to heal. For consistency, I use the term inner therapist throughout this book, but feel free to call it whatever you'd like. Inner teacher, inner guide, Holy Spirit, and higher mind are common ways of referring to the part of your mind that recognizes your eternal reality. Together we'll discover new ways to look at the world and practical strategies to restore your awareness to peace. So she talks about what we're going to go through in part 1, exploring collective descent into anxiety. Part 2 is working through healing steps and perception shifts to ascend out of anxiety. Part 3, putting it all together and examining practical techniques for dealing with the many ways that anxiety shows up in our life. And in this book, I talk about God. We have a lot of baggage attached to this word. Gosh, I know that. Because human beings have used God to justify many unloving and atrocious acts. When I use the word God, please know that I am not referring to a dude with a white beard who sits upstairs and orchestrates things down here. God has no gender. I am referring to an all-encompassing divine love that is only loving and is incapable of causing pain. It is part of us and not outside ourselves. I also refer to it as our source, oneness, and love. These words are capitalized as a reminder that I am referring to God. I also capitalize additional terms when I am referring to concepts beyond this world of form. Do you want me to keep going, or?
We have a few minutes left. I think we can get through it. We have a few minutes left.
Okay. In addition, miracles aren't big magical events. Rather, they can occur at any moment in the day if we allow them to. Miracles can be defined in two different but interrelated ways. According to A Course in Miracles, miracles are expressions of love. That's from text chapter 1, but they are also shifts in perception. This book emphasizes the latter definition because when we are caught in fear, we must learn to shift our perception. These shifts were essential to me in finding relief from debilitating anxiety. This new definition of miracles may seem less exciting, but there is nothing more satisfying than coming to recognize your eternal nature, which cannot change, grow old, or experience anxiety. If you use this book with an open mind and adopt an attitude of, I don't know, rather than clinging to what you think you already know, you will create space for new insights to come to you. Willingness to learn new ideas is key, and any voice that tells you you'll never succeed is not your real voice. And if this message resonates with you, I highly recommend getting a copy of A Course in Miracles and diving in. It's a life-changing pathway that continues to deepen my awareness of peace in ways I could not previously comprehend. Inner peace is not an event, it's a process. It's not something we attain once and keep forever, but rather an experience that continues to deepen to the degree to which you're willing to get out of the way and allow peace to move through you. I promise that you are worth the effort. I'm imagining that we're holding hands in our shared commitment to undoing anxiety. Let's do this.
All right. Nice. Nice, Audrey. All right. Thank you very much. God bless everybody. Time's up. And thanks, Lynn. Thanks, Dove. Thanks, everyone else who came here to listen to this. It's a wonderful book, From Anxiety to Love. If you like what you hear, go out and get it. I'm sure it's at Amazon and so forth, all over the place. A radical new approach for letting go of fear and find lasting peace. And so far, it's wonderful. Thank you again. God bless. And here's to Mike Lynn.
Thank you so much, Wayne and Otzi. What a great book this is, and I really appreciate you guys sharing here. So